Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin of GamblersWorld.net, our sponsor, and I'm joined today by Mr. Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs, fellow sports handicappers over at GamblersWorld.net, where, folks, anytime you buy a pick from us or a subscription plan, you're going to get our personal guarantee that if you don't win, you don't make a profit. We will credit your account back the exact amount of which you spent on that specific package or pick. In any event, time to say hello. Jesse, how are you?
Doing pretty good, Ross. Pretty excited about today's Major League Baseball card. Yesterday's card was a little lackluster.
Yeah, well, there was only 3 games, so I guess you could say that. Sean, how you doing?
Yeah, I don't understand how you have 3. I guess I sort of understand because it's July 4th and they want, instead of everybody off on Thursday, let's put everybody off on a Monday. But, yeah, here we go. You know, I'm having a nice week. Good month of June with baseball and full swing MLB. I love it.
There you go. Sean Higgs, Jesse Schule. Like I said, find them over at gamblersworld.net, just like myself. And, folks, don't forget, give us a like on our podcast today, as it goes a long way in showing your appreciation for the time, work, and effort we put into bringing you a quality podcast 5 times a week. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, take a second to do so. Hit that subscribe button, or if you're on your PC, you'll see a WC logo in the bottom right-hand corner of your page. That serves the same purpose. Hit that. And while you're at it, provide yourself a nice convenience by going into your YouTube settings and clicking on the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel. You'll be notified immediately upon any of our 5 podcasts weekly going up on our great channel. All right, we're going to be talking Major League Baseball today, and we're going to get right at it. And Sean, you're going to be looking at the Orioles and the Seattle Mariners. Good matchup here, good pitching matchup as well. Grayson Rodriguez coming off a bit of a struggle in his last start. He's going to be taking on Seattle and George Kirby. And Kirby seems to be one of those Jekyll and Hyde pitchers, home and away. But what do you got for us here?
Yeah, 2 teams I like, 2 pitchers I like. And, you know, you look at this, and as you mentioned, the Jekyll and Hyde for Kirby. Let's start with Grayson Rodriguez, same kind of guy. I mean, a 5.35 ERA on the road, 7 starts, not good. The batting average against 277, the whip of 1.5, basically. Not all that great. Not all that. And I like Grayson Rodriguez. I think he's a really good pitcher. I have a over 11.5 win ticket for him. I like the Orioles. I think the Orioles are going to win the East here over the Yankees, and probably I think they are the best team in the American League. But Seattle, I like Seattle here. You're giving me a short plus 103 or maybe minus 102, whatever the number may be here with Kirby. You mentioned his splits at home. Fabulous. Here we go. I mean, a 199 batting average against 0.85 whip. Are you kidding me? And we've seen, and this is not just the Orioles. We've seen it with the Yankees. We've seen it with the Dodgers, the Braves, the Phillies, any kind of good team. You match up against another good pitcher, then it kind of, I don't say tip the scales, but it does lead credence to who pitches better here or there. And I have a team in Seattle, which is a dozen or so games over 500 at home anyway. I got a pitcher who's much better at home than he is on the road. I have Grayson Rodriguez, who's much better at home than he is on the road. And Seattle, as much as they haven't been hitting, well, they're still getting their clutch hitting and winning games. And now you got a guy who's not pitched well of late. He's pitched okay, but not to a level where I think he takes care of another hot, good team. Give me Seattle here. And I like to get really greedy, Ross, sometimes. Did you get at me for that? It's a plus 195 on the run line if you're feeling really getting crazy. Yeah, look at Jesse Schule's like, what are you talking about? Just take the plus 102 or minus 103 and take Seattle. If they're winning, the total is 7. This might have 7 in the 3rd inning. Yeah. So I'm Seattle for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of you chime in once in a while and get a little perturbed when we all agree on a game, and I could assure you, folks, that does not happen all the time. But I think I could speak for Jesse and Sean when I say we're not going to disagree just for the sake of disagreeing. And this is one of those situations. I definitely agree with what Sean's saying. Seattle is coming off a home loss, but you know what? The bottom line is this is a team that's gone 26-7 in their last 33 at home. So that's just terrific. Jesse, any thoughts?
Yeah, Ross, you make a strong point when you use the term Jekyll and Hyde. I like that angle. It is something that I lean into all the time in Major League Baseball, and people might not like that, but I got to say, it's consistent. You see the same pitchers, the same teams consistently better at home than they are on the road, and consistently not always priced accordingly. That said, I don't like betting against Baltimore either. I kind of like the under. I know Sean said there could be 7 runs in the first 3 innings. Um, Seattle doesn't, their offense still doesn't impress me that much. And I could see this breaking into a pitcher's duel. So I would have a bit of a lean toward the under.
Yeah, the only thing that would scare me about the under is the point that Sean makes is Grayson Rodriguez. I mean, George Kirby, Jekyll and Hyde, home and away. So is Grayson Rodriguez. And his ERA, I think Sean pointed out, over 5 on the road. So we'll see. But I don't have a strong feel in terms of the total here. I do agree with Sean on the Mariners pick at -115. Jesse, you're going to be looking at NL West battle between the Arizona Diamondbacks with Ryan Nelson on the mound tonight, and they'll be traveling to Dodger Stadium to take on the LA Dodgers. Bobby Miller makes his 3rd start of the year for the LA Dodgers. Right now, the Dodgers are a -195 money line favorite. The total is 8.5. Or you can go with the run line where that shows the Dodgers -1.5 plus 105, and Arizona plus 1.5 and -125. Which direction you going here, Jesse?
Well, write down today's date, buy yourself a lottery ticket, because I'm going to look at an underdog here, and that's something that I don't do every day. But yeah, the Dodgers are a huge favorite, despite the fact that they got some injury problems. Mookie Betts and Max Muncy out of the lineup. They've still won 10 of their last 15. But at this time of the year, you're getting really close to the All-Star break. You got the 4th of July coming up. There's all sorts of distractions. I don't want to be laying 2-1 with favorites at this time of year. And not with Bobby Miller on the mound. Bobby Miller, 1-1, 6.75 ERA, 1.65 WHIP. He's given up 8 runs on 10 hits in his last 2 starts, or his last 2 appearances.
It's been his only 2 starts, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess his numbers that I were looking at say he's got 5 appearances this year.
I'm sorry, 5 starts. Yes, you're right. Again, go ahead, Jess.
Regardless, the numbers aren't good. There's not a lot of reason for optimism. I didn't mention the injuries to their pitching staff because right about now it seems like every team has half a dozen significant injuries on the pitching staff. But LA has got a bunch of starters out, a bunch of guys from the bullpen out. And you got to think eventually they're going to miss Mookie Betts and Max Muncy. And then the guy on the other end going for Arizona, Ryan Nelson, his numbers aren't that great. But as far as Jekyll and Hyde, he's been better on the road, 2-3 with a 4.64 ERA and 6 road starts. That's not fantastic, but it's not that bad. And what I know of Ryan Nelson is he's a guy that you catch him on any given day, he's either red hot or ice cold. So, which aren't the kind of guys you usually want to bet on or against, but he's capable. And then his history against the Dodgers throughout his career, 2-0 with a 1.59 ERA, 14 strikeouts in 3 appearances. Yeah, small sample size, but I've seen this Nelson kid pitch well. I've got a lot more faith in him than I do in Bobby Miller. So if I got to play this game, it's going to be the dog on the run line. Arizona plus 1.5, -125.
All right. So Arizona plus 1.5, -125. Don't get carried away, Jesse. Yes, you're taking an underdog, but you're still
that's about as far as I'm willing to go.
You're not going with the plus money. In any event, yeah, I stand corrected. It's Jesse pointed that out. Thank you, Jesse. Bobby Miller will be making his 6th start, not his 3rd start of the year. And I don't like Ryan Nelson, Jesse. I just, to me, It seemed like he was a lot stronger when he first came up in his career, and this year especially, very erratic. And when you get an erratic pitcher against a good hitting team like the Dodgers on the road, that makes me fret a little bit to side with that guy. If anything, Sean, I would have a lean toward the over 8.5 in this game. I'm not crazy about Bobby Miller either. So what's your take, Sean?
Yeah, I could get behind you on that over, just based on what you said about both these pitchers. And Miller, as you said, you're like 2 starts because, yeah, it's 2 starts because he hasn't pitched since April. He was hurt. So,
Yeah.
I mean, eh, what do you got here? You got a guy who's in his second year, struggling a little bit, off an injured list or whatever, rehab, whatever he was doing, finding his way, and he hasn't been good this year. And I like Jesse's point there. It's 2 days before the 4th of July. It's a different kind of schedule. It's the All-Star break in another week. And the Dodgers are, and I've said this beginning here, a team of 5-inning pitchers. And when you have half of those 5-inning pitchers on the injured list or coming off the injured list or yin-yang guys from starter to reliever with do you want to lay 195? No, I don't want to lay a huge number like that. I mean, I would, you know me, I'd go all in on a dog and say, hey, how far away here Arizona in the 3-game set or 3-game set they have here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, plus run and a half. I get it. Minus 125, Jess. At least we're pulling you to the dogs a little bit. That's pretty good. It's a good start to the month.
Yeah. And July the 4th, known for fireworks. I think we're going to see some early fireworks in this game on July the 2nd because both of these starting pitchers I'm not crazy about. Yep. I said I had a lean toward the over 8.5. I might lean toward the over in the first 5 innings in this game too because of the 2 starting pitchers involved and the Dodgers bullpen being so good. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying I don't hate it. I like that look at all. I mean, I would have. If some nut job assigned me a game with a 190 fave like this, I probably would have taken the over instead.
I'm not the nut job today, by the way, folks.
I assigned the games this week, by the way. That's
well, you know what?
I didn't know the line would be this high.
No, sometimes you don't know what the starting pitching matchups are going to be a couple days in advance either. So
I didn't think this guy'd be a 195 fave. That's for sure.
All right, I'm going to look at the Phillies and the Cubs. This game will be played at Wrigley Field tonight, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be a pair of right-handers slated to go. For the Phillies, Michael Mercado makes his first start of his Major League Baseball career tonight. He did appear in one game last week in relief and pitched an inning of scoreless baseball. He'll be opposed by Hayden Wesneski, who's made 4 starts and 10 relief appearances this year. So neither one of these guys with a vast amount of starting experience. Wesneski has pitched well in his 4 starts, 3.05 ERA and 1.08 WHIP in the 4 starts. So I'm not including his relief appearances here, folks. Averaging 5.1 innings pitched per start. Unfortunately for him, he did not get any run support, nor did his bullpen hold up in the 4 starts. And that's the reason why Wesneski is 0-4 in his team starts. So the Cubs just didn't help him out, regardless of how solid he's been in the short amount of time that he pitched, which is an average of about 5 innings. Also, you look at his combined 4 starts and 10 relief appearances, and it's a little concerning when I look at he's allowed 8 home runs in 45 innings pitched, and he's facing a team like the Phillies, who are a power-laden lineup. So that's a red flag for me as well. He's much better during the day than he is at night. If you look at his splits, day and night, and that includes all his appearances, relief and starting, his ERA is about 2 runs higher at night than it is during the day. Now, Michael Mercado, this is one of those situations where you got a guy making his first Major League Baseball start. You go back and you look at what he did at AAA Lehigh Valley this year, and he was pretty solid at the AAA level with a 1.71 ERA. Only allowed 2 home runs in 47 in the 3rd innings pitched. Again, he made the 1 relief appearance for the Phillies that came on June 25th, where he pitched an inning of scoreless baseball. The thing I'm going to look at here is I like the Phillies bullpen a heck of a lot more than the Cubs bullpen. We're probably looking at two pitchers. You're going to get no more than 5 innings pitched for each. So you got to factor the bullpens in. And then I look at the Phillies against right-handed starting pitching this year. They've been tremendous, 35-14 against right-handed starters this year, including 30-10 in their last 40 in that role, and outscoring the opposition by 2.4 runs per game in those 40 appearances. The Cubs have lost 8 of their last 10 and 15 of their last 23 games, so they're not exactly coming in off a high. And then you look at both teams are coming off a day off, and the Phillies this year are 8-1 following an off day, and that includes 3-0 on the road. So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies here, even though it's one of those games where ordinarily I would say, you got a team like the Phillies, first place club, much better record than the Cubs, and they're an underdog against a losing team. But I think there's a lot to be said. You got to look inside the numbers here. I think the odds makers are looking at the fact where you have a pitcher here making a major league debut in terms of a starter, and that's why we're getting that number. I'm willing to overlook that for every other reason that I just mentioned and take the Phillies plus 110 at the Cubs tonight in Major League Baseball. Sean?
Well, I'm biased to the Cubbies because I have them to go over there, I think, 84 wins or whatever, and they're sitting in last place being terrible. But I sort of like them in this spot because Philly, there's no Harper, there's no Schwarber, Castellano still doesn't hit. So maybe they're hitting. Teams hit a little wall, not a wall, but there's ups and downs in team seasons. And if you're going to make a move, Chicago, why not get a Philly team that is down a little bit right now? And if you look at all the teams they beat up on bad teams. Are you really a bad team, Cubs, or you've just played like trash? Like people thought the Cubs would be good this year. I'm gonna lean to liking the Cubs a little bit, though. I don't have any action on this game. It would just be my thought on it, but I can't disagree with anything you said about all your stats on the pitching and just the Cubs in general have been bad. I know you don't want to bet. I don't want to bet on teams that are bad, right? Where they all of a sudden are going to be good and roll off 22 or 23 or 23 or 25 or something like that. That'd be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll for myself, I'll be on the side. So we'll just ride you in the video here. Let's go Philly.
All right. And to Sean's point, the Cubs are 4 games over 500 at Wrigley Field. A thing that bothers me, though, is they haven't played good baseball of late, Jesse. Like I alluded to, losing 8 of 10 and 15 of their last 23. So, that's sort of hurt them a lot and really dropped them down off a cliff in the standings. But Jesse, your take here.
Yeah, there's no way that I could bet my money on the Cubs. In fact, I don't even think I could bet your money on the Cubs, Ross. Sign me up for Philly. I like what you said about the rookie pitcher. I don't mind betting on a pitcher making his debut if I have some information that he's potentially going to be good. But yeah, Sean makes a strong point about the injuries to Philly. Riamolto, Harper, Schwarber. Got to be concerned about that. I mean, for me, this is a game that I don't want to bet on per se. So even with your money, Ross, I would pass.
All right. Well, that's the reason why the line is what it is. I mean, the combination of the injuries and a starting pitcher making his Major League Baseball debut. You keep saying you wouldn't bet my money. If I gave it to you, you would, Jesse. So shut the hell up.
I'd probably buy an ice cream cone or something with it.
I was going to say he's going to go buy some meat.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be coming back and sending those pictures with all those Brontosaurus burgers in a shopping cart. Anyway,
it does look like a Brontosaurus burger, like on the side of his little.
It's like to see Jesse drive it on the way home, and his car tilts over because all the meat he's got on one side.
A giant tomahawk.
All right, Sean, tell the folks a little bit about what's going on with you, what you see coming up on this July the 4th week, and anything in terms of streaks you want to share with the audience.
I think we had rolling. I think I'm on a 15-9 baseball run, and it's got to be some good plus money because there we go, over 12 hundos. And that's because we're taking, all my games. I think at over 400 baseball games, average odds at plus 105. And most of the sites I'm between number 1 and number 3 in the money. So I'm having a good baseball season. I got a top play up today on gamblersworld.net. So go get that guy. And of course, I got baseball every day. What are we doing, folks? Dude, get a 7-day. Or remember, it's guaranteed win, or you get credited back on all the packages. So why not? What's say? So between today and Sunday, what are you getting, about 25 games? What are you doing? Cost you good deal.
Sean's been doing a great job on hosting some of our podcasts over the last couple of weeks. A couple of people chimed in yesterday. I don't watch these unless Ross is on. Where's Ross, Benjamin? Look at folks. Here's the reality of the situation. Get used to Sean playing a major role here as a host, and I would encourage you to give him the same support, and the rest of the guys the same support that you give me. Okay, because I am not a proponent of it. Does not make me feel good when you make comments like that. I appreciate.
I didn't even look yesterday's show.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your gesture.
Gave you winners yesterday.
Yeah.
I went 2-1 into props plus 300.
Had nothing to do with it. I don't care if you go 0-3. All right. The bottom line is that these guys, all the people on this channel are here for a reason. They were handpicked by myself. So I don't want to hear that anymore. Please. You're not making me feel any better. Matter of fact, you make me feel worse when you make comments like that. Jesse, what do you got going on, brother?
I got some stuff going on, but I got to say something about Sean first. Anybody out there who says they're not interested in following Sean Higgs probably missed the 2022 NFL season when on his show, Look Ahead Lines, he gave out winners every single Sunday night to the tune of what, 70%, Sean? I mean, ridiculous.
Probably a little better than that.
I tuned in religiously almost every Sunday to Sean's show, and it was the single best NFL season that I've ever witnessed from my man, Sean Higgs. Yeah, that was 2 years ago, but how many people do you know that you can say have done that in a lifetime? Sean does it on the regular, so I totally endorse Sean.
As you're patting me on the back, we did have a winning season last year too in NFL too, folks. That wasn't just like a one-off. I had a good football season.
You had a tremendous.
I just saw that on there. I just saw that. I hit the guy with a boo, thumbs down.
Tremendous NFL season 2 years ago, right, Sean? And then a very good one last year as well, followed up with. So, yeah, I mean, the NFL's coming up, folks. It's right around the corner. And I'm going to challenge all of you. Sean is a volume handicapper in Major League Baseball. I'm going to say this again, and I hope the owner is listening to me loud and clear, okay? Sean is a volume player. I would suggest that they make Sean a VIP club where he puts out his best 2 to 3 picks per day and sells that in a separate club. And then if you want to play volume, you have that option too in a second club, okay? Secondly, folks, if you like volume plays, I'm going to challenge you right now. I want you to go and spend $179 is our package for 7 days. If I'm not mistaken, or $199, somewhere in that area. Spend some money on him and then blame it on me if you don't make a profit, not him. Okay? So I'm challenging all you.
Can't go wrong with that one.
Reach in your pocket because, I am endorsing him as well. So in any event, we'll be back tomorrow with myself hosting and Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs as well. No show on Thursday for July the 4th. I don't know if we're going to be doing a show on Friday. That's still up in the air. We'll let you know about that tomorrow, folks. More Major League Baseball we'll be discussing. But, Jesse, there's a like button right underneath. What do you want them to do with that like button?
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button, folks.
Make sure you tell me you'll be here tomorrow, Ross. God forbid you're not here. They'll watch me.
I don't want to hear those types of comments again. I would really encourage you not do that, folks. Again, you're not making me feel any better, and that's disrespectful. And there's a reason why I picked Sean to be on this show, and there's a reason why I endorsed him as a host as well. So, in any event, until tomorrow, for Jesse Schule, Sean Higgs, and Ross Benjamin, Take care.